Your brain starts talking, and suddenly, everything stops.
But hesitation only exists for one reason. You're still listening to it.
3 seconds, and you move anyway!
Your brain is not your friend. It doesn't wake up thinking about your dreams, your goals, or the life you want to build. It wakes up with one mission: keep you safe, keep you comfortable, keep you exactly where you are. Safe means familiar. Familiar means easy. And easy is the enemy of everything you say you want. That's why every time you try to step forward, something inside you pulls back. It whispers, not today. You're tired. You can start tomorrow. It sounds reasonable. It sounds protective. But it's not helping you grow. It's helping you stay the same. And that's why doing hard things feels like a fight. Because it is. It's not you versus the world. It's you versus the part of your mind that's designed to avoid risk at all costs. The moment you try to change, wake up early, train harder, focus deeper, your brain interprets it as discomfort, and discomfort to your brain feels like danger. So it resists, it delays, it distracts. Not because you're weak, but because your brain is doing its job too well. If that hits a little too close, pause for a second and actually notice it. When was the last time you delayed something important because it felt uncomfortable? Drop a quick comment with delay or done, depending on what you usually choose. I want to see how many people are catching themselves in this loop. But today, you stop treating that voice like authority. Today, you recognize it for what it is: a survival mechanism, not a success strategy. You are not built to feel ready. You are built to adapt. And adaptation only happens under pressure. Your brain doesn't care about your goals. It cares about conserving energy. That's why it tells you to skip the workout, to scroll a little longer, to choose comfort over effort. It's always negotiating for the easier path, always trying to lower the cost, because from its perspective, effort is expensive and reward is uncertain. So it pushes you toward what feels good now, even if it costs you everything later. But here's the truth most people avoid. The easy path doesn't build anything. It doesn't build strength, discipline, or confidence. It builds dependency. It turns you into someone who watches instead of acts, someone who plans instead of executes, someone who dreams but never moves. And the longer you listen to that voice, the stronger it gets. Not because it's right, but because you keep obeying it. So you don't silence it by thinking differently. You silence it by acting anyway. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is the signal that you're stepping outside the loop. Most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid discomfort, but discomfort is where they change lives. It's the price you pay for growth. The currency of becoming stronger, sharper, more capable. And once you understand that, everything flips. The moment your brain says, I don't feel like it, that becomes your trigger. Not to stop, but to move. Not to hesitate, but to act. Because now you know what that feeling actually means. It means you're close to something that matters. It means you're about to grow. And growth never feels convenient. If that mindset shift just clicked for you, hit like, not for me, but as a signal to yourself that you're done choosing comfort by default. You stop chasing comfort. You start chasing resistance. And then comes the moment that decides everything, the moment of hesitation. That tiny gap between thinking and doing. That's where most people lose. Not because they can't act, but because they wait too long. They overthink, they negotiate, they delay. And in that delay, the brain regains control. So you cut that window down to nothing. 3 seconds. That's all you give yourself. The moment you feel resistance, you count it down. 3, 2, 1, move. No debate, no analysis, just action. Because action kills overthinking. And once you start, momentum takes over. You don't need motivation after that. You just need movement. You wake up and feel tired? 3, 2, 1, get up. You see the task and doubt yourself? 3, 2, 1, start. Do you feel fear rising? 3, 2, 1, step forward. And be honest. How many times have you waited too long and then done nothing? If that's you, type 3, 2, 1 in the comments. That's your commitment from now on. You don't wait to feel ready. You act before your brain can stop you. And you don't need a perfect routine to change your life. You need a daily act of discomfort. Something small but intentional. Something that reminds your brain who's in control. It could be a cold shower, a tough workout, focused work without distractions, or speaking up when it feels uncomfortable. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you do it when you don't feel like it. Because every time you choose discomfort on purpose, you send a message: I'm not controlled by ease anymore. If you know someone who's stuck in that comfort loop right now, share this with them. Sometimes people don't need more advice. They need a wake-up call at the right moment. These small acts stack. They build evidence. And that evidence reshapes how you see yourself. Because this isn't about completing tasks. It's about changing identity. Most people wait to feel disciplined before they act. But that's backwards. Discipline isn't something you feel. It's something you prove. You decide who you are, and then you act like it, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when your mind is pushing back. You tell yourself, I'm not lazy. I've just trained myself to avoid discomfort. And then you break that pattern. One action at a time. One decision at a time. One day at a time. You're not rewiring your schedule. You're rewiring your identity. And over time, something shifts. The voice that used to stop you gets quieter. Not because it disappears, but because it loses authority. It speaks, but you don't obey. You move anyway. And eventually, your brain adapts to the new pattern. It starts expecting action instead of avoidance. Effort instead of escape. That's when things change. You stop feeling like you're forcing yourself. You start becoming someone who does hard things by default. Not because it's easy, but because it's who you are now. You've listened to that protective voice long enough. The version of you that always chose comfort, always delayed, always waited. That version doesn't get to decide anymore. From this point forward, you move first. You act faster. You choose discomfort on purpose. Right now, don't wait. Pick one hard thing and do it immediately. Then come back and comment done. I read those. And if you're serious about becoming someone who actually follows through, not just someone who watches and nods, subscribe. Because this is where that version of you gets built.